Hey there, YouTube's Chris Holman here. It is Friday. Is it 25th of May, I believe? I don't know. I kind of lost track, to be honest with you. So I just found out. I'll give it a few more minutes here, or a few more seconds. I just found out Tommy Robinson of the UK was arrested for reporting at the trial and reading off some things that were public information for, was it disturbance of the peace. Now he had a suspended sentence, so in like an hour he was in front of a judge and 13 months in prison. 13 months in prison. And this is, if you know anything about Tommy Robinson and what's going on in the UK, you'll know that this is practically a death sentence. It practically is. The chance of him dying in prison is actually rather high. Rather high. There was essentially I guess a gag order, like no reporting, reporting restriction, I think is what they called it. A reporting restriction put on this trial, and he broke it. Now, a reporting restriction, a restriction on the press, is censorship. I mean, the UK has covered for rape gangs and grooming gangs for decades, but an independent reporter who's dedicated so much of his life and put so much at risk for the country that he loves, for this to happen to him, all of his legal troubles has all got trumped up by just craziness. I actually had planned on going live here in just a little bit and doing kind of more of an uplifting, positive, and so I watched a short live stream. I actually caught it just afterwards, but it was by Lauren Southern about this, and I put a comment in there. I mean, now I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm not in the UK. There's really nothing that I personally can do except for this: put the information out there, right? Other than this, there's nothing else I can do. But all of us individually fix ourselves, fix our communities, fix our nations. The British people, at some point, enough is enough, and you're going to have your own 1776. You know it. You have no freedom of speech. You have no freedom of assembly. You have no right to self-defense. I mean, you can't even have knives in London, right? They've been importing your own destruction for years now, and this is what is going on. So one man who has made it his mission, a very brave and courageous man who's by himself has taken on the establishment, right? He's taking on the law enforcement agencies and local governments and his own state government, where because of these rape gangs, because of the Islamization of the UK, the open borders. I mean, essentially, someone can, once they say enter Greece or Italy, free movement anywhere in the continent. And there's no way to vet these people. And so Tommy Robinson has been a target. They've tried to silence him so many times, and successfully, many of those times as well. He's received death threats, stalked by the police and by others, and now 13 months in prison for reporting on a trial. The UK government does not want this to get out. They did not want this to be a big news story. I don't know the particulars of this particular trial. I don't know. I don't know. But I know that whether it is a legacy journalist or an independent journalist, whatever it is, if you don't have freedom of the press, if there's no freedom of assembly and no freedom of speech, you do not live in a free society. If you're not free to speak your mind, even controversial topics, you're not free. You have no liberty. So to the people in the UK, anyone watching this in the UK, listen to me. You need to organize. Enough is enough. At some point, you're going to have to stand up to power. There's more of you than there is of them. The people should not fear their government. The government should fear their people. At some point, peaceful protests are not going to be enough. They're not going to be effective if they do not change the current course of what's going on in your country. You're going to have your own 1776. Stand up for your unalienable, God-given rights. Stand up for Tommy Robinson as he has stood up for you and your wives and your husbands and your daughters and your sons. He has stood up for you, and now he needs you to stand up for him. Free Tommy Robinson. I'm going to see how much more information I can get. This is just my initial live stream on this, but I will be looking more into this, and I will get back to you as soon as I hear anything else. British and brothers and sisters, you need to do the right thing. Take your country back. It's your freedom. It's your liberty. It's the future of your children and your grandchildren. Future generations of the British people. If you don't stand now, they may not have a future. Stand for freedom, liberty, and justice for your people.
Oh, yeah, she's right there with you.
God is love. God bless.